In this video, I'm going to be showing you my new lens. It's this. But what is it? Well, it's a game changer. Want to know why? Keep watching. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, I'm Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and yes, I've been buying a new piece of kit. Don't tell the wife, you know what it's like. Well, it's not new, it's second hand, it's a used piece of kit, because you know that I like my used kit. And, well, this one is, I think, a bit of a game changer, but you'll have to keep watching the video to find out why I think that. Now this is, if I get it right, the Sigma 30mm f1.4. It's a DC DN lens from the Contemporary series. There we are, that's easy. And I know it's a Contemporary series because there's a little silver dot. The only bit of colour or variation on this lens, little silver dot on the side there, which says C in it. Lovely little lens. It comes with lens hood. Notice, manufacturers, lens hood, good quality lens hood, which nice standard benefit, and it's a good quality lens. The lens itself altogether is really nicely built. It's mainly plastic construction, but it's a good quality plastic, nice and hard and good. A proper metal lens mount on there, which I always like. But the beauty of this is there's only one control, and that's a focus ring, but that focus ring is just super smooth. Nice wide rubberized area, and it's a lovely focus. It's focused by wire, so there's no end stop, so you continually turn it. But it just feels nice in the hand. It's well damped, and there's no nasty little grindy bits on it at all. It's beautifully made. The lens itself, let's have a look at the specs before I go on to the rest of it. Well, it's a 30mm lens, so it's a sort of standard plus lens. Standard lens plus a little bit. Certainly not in the telephoto area, but it's a standard plus. As I say, the lens hood comes off. It's a longish lens, but it's not silly. And the reason it's longish is because it's meant for various formats. It's an aps-c lens, which is adapted to different formats. This one, of course, I'm going to be talking about is a Micro Four Thirds format, but you can get it on Fuji X mount, you can get it on L mount, you can get it on Nikon Z mount, Canon AFM. I've probably missed one as well, but I can't think what it is at the moment, but it comes in a lot of different mounts. And because it's meant for aps-c sensors, well, it's a bit big for the Micro Four Thirds in comparison, but that's not really a big drawback on this. It's still a nice compact lens. It's certainly smaller than the 14-140 that I'm filming this video on at the moment. Light, it's about 280 grams. And Sigma have said that they really wanted to base this lens on, put the effort into the outer focus areas for the quality. Now that's a bit of a strange sort of, why would you want to concentrate in the outer focus areas? Well, it's a 1.4, an f1.4 lens, and a lot of the people who are going to be shooting this lens are going to be wanting that fancy bokeh. Yes, I know somebody's going to tell me that I don't say it properly, but hey, I'm from the northeast of England. We talk in a different way. So it's bokeh whether you like it or not. That's how I'm going to say it. You know what I mean. But thank you for the ones who have corrected me in the past. But yeah, they're concentrating on getting really nice quality bokeh. Now, again, I'll come into that a little bit later when I tell you about the operation of the lens. But basically, it's a 1.4 lens, really nice, fast, about 2/3 faster than the competition. Because if you take the standard competition for this, which is near enough a standard lens, you're talking about the 25mm lenses from Lumix and Olympus, the Lumix f1.7, the Lumix and the Olympus f1.8. So you get about 2/3 of a stop of extra light on this lens. In trying to get that good quality bokeh, it's a 9-bladed diaphragm with rounded blades to get nice creamy sort of edges on that instead of the sort of octagons, septagons or whatever it is that you get on other lenses where you can see the edges. This gives a nice clean circles, and you'll find this in some of the photos which I put at the end of this video where I concentrate on some highlight lights, so you'll see what I mean by that. The lenses, there's 9 of them in 7 groups, for those people who like to know how many lenses in how many groups. And the whole lens weighs about 280 grams. It's got a 52mm filter thread, and that's about it. There's not really a great deal to say about it. If you look on the inside of the front of it, you can see that, but there's not even any paint to say what the specs of the lens are. Normally it's painted on. It is actually etched in there, but you can hardly see it. So the only real variation from the black is a little bit of writing around, a white dot where it lines up for mounting it, and as I say, that little Contemporary badge. So that's the lens itself. So why have I bought it? Well, a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's your fault. Yeah, you. The one at the other side of that camera. The one who keeps on leaving the comments below about when I do reviews. So many of you have said, have you tried this lens? This lens is fabulous. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to check it out. Price-wise, it's really competitive too. About £290 in the UK full price retail. So it's not a huge amount more than the Olympus lens. It's about double the price of the Lumix lens, but it's still really competitive for that price, and especially for a fast lens, an f1.4 lens. Used this thing, it boxed everything there. The only thing that wasn't the same is it didn't have the proper Sigma lens cap. It had a generic lens cap with it. Really? Am I going to be bothered about that? No, it had a lens cap. It had the lens caps front and back. The lens hood, it was fully boxed and it was immaculate. And that cost me £190 from my local camera dealer, which is Wilkinson's in Carlisle. I'm not being paid by them. I'm not sponsored by them. I just think that they really look after me. So I bought it from them. Bit of a spur of the moment because I saw it in and thought, I'll try that. So I brought this lens back. £190 used, immaculate, as new condition. Then I put it on the camera. Now, why have I bought this lens from a photographic point of view? Well, I do like a fast lens. I like to be able to have a fast lens when I'm taking photographs in low light situations. As I've said in the past, I'm not a great bokeh king. I'm not one of these people who desperately needs super shallow depth of field in everything I take. I do take a lot of portraits, or I used to take a lot of portraits when I was working professionally. And I was never the greatest one for shallow depth of field. I like to see a face in focus. Occasionally you want to get a little bit of softness on the back, but when I was shooting, if you're going down to those super wide apertures, you'll get the eye in focus. You're focusing on the closest eye, but in some of these apertures, you could find that the other eye is out of focus. The tip of the nose is out of focus. The earlobes are out, but you've got the eye in focus. It's such a shallow depth of field. I don't shoot like that normally, but there are occasions when I want to do something like that, when I want that super shallow depth of field. And then you've got to have the right tools to do the job, and this is what that provides. Now, the other reason for having a 1.4 aperture over the others is if you're in a dark situation, you're going inside a building where you can't use strobes and you can't use speed lights and you can't use anything other than dim natural light, that extra speed, that extra open aperture can really make a difference between whether you get the shot and not. And in those situations, you're fighting against noise. So if you can really get a clean lens which you're going to let a lot of light through, then you're laughing. So that's what I want it for. It's a good lens, focal length-wise, for what I use, and also it gives me that extra of the 1.4. But the trouble is 1.4, or a very fast aperture, it's no good if it can't deliver. And this is where Sigma have put the detail into this out focus area, as well as the lens itself. I'm a great believer in rubbish in, rubbish out. So if you don't have a good input to something, you're never going to get a great output. You can mess around with it as much as you want, but you're always playing catch up. And on this, I don't do, as you know, the test cards and things, but check out David Thorpe, the late great David Thorpe's channel on YouTube, because he did a review of this and its siblings, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes, on there, and he did this on the test cards. And this camera at 1.4 is clean and sharp from corner to corner, from side to side, top to bottom. It's wonderful. If you do that on the Lumix 1.7, you don't get anywhere near those results. It's very soft around the edges in comparison. And also, looking at the bokeh from some of the Lumix 1.7 in comparison to this, it looks grainy, horrible. It looks unnatural. This, you'll see some of the photographs at the end, has a beautiful, smooth bokeh in the background when it's out of focus. But knowing fine well that when you are using that f1.4, the in-focus parts are razor sharp. The other thing is as well, which I like about this, and I was a bit worried about, although I do have a Sigma lens, a 60mm f2.8 lens previously, which I have done a review of. I'll try to remember where it is and stick a link above. I worry about the speed of focus and the accuracy of focus. Well, I haven't been let down on this. This really has just performed equally as well, if not better, than the two big manufacturers, the Olympus and the Lumix. In fact, certainly insofar as the Lumix, it beats it hands down. It's fast focusing, it's very accurate. You don't get that sort of bounce past and bouncing around the focus, trying to get it in. And that's on both my Lumix G9 and my Olympus EM1 Mark II. Now again, I referred to the pictures at the end. All the ones which were taken in the UK, the Christmassy sort of market in the middle of Carlisle, were taken on EM1 Mark II. Anything which had been taken out in Cyprus is on the G9, which is what I've got here. So it gives you a comparison. And I would quite happily use this lens on both. Now the other thing is, as well, as I say, I used to take a lot of portraits. I haven't had a chance to use this for portraits yet. I haven't been in a situation where I've had people to do portraits of. But when I do portraits, more importantly than the characteristics of the lens for me was the proximity when I'm taking the shot between me and my subject. Now I used to like to use a short telephoto for headshots, a medium telephoto for really cropped in headshots, and a standard lens for doing the more full body or 3/4 body shots. So in other words, 25mm lens on a Micro Four Thirds I was using for my full body or 3/4 body shots. I was tending to be using my 45mm, the wonderful little 45mm f1.8 Olympus, to do my head shots, which are sort of upper torso and head. And I would use the Sigma 60mm for my cropped in shots, for my real tight head shots. And that puts me 6 to 8 feet away from a subject, which is a really nice working distance. Any closer, you're almost in the space, in the personal space, and it becomes a little bit too close and personal. Any further away, you're battling against the distance, it becomes impersonal, and you can't get the rapport with the subject. So 6 to 8 feet working distance is where I feel really comfortable, and where I believe that my models are comfortable too. So that's what I've concentrated on in the past. Well, this is 30mm. It's slightly larger than a standard, but not much. It's slightly shorter than the short telephoto, but not much. And by the variance in that distance, with using this lens, I can use for both. So for me, this is one lens of excellent quality that I can take out to replace 2 lenses previously. I'm not messing around changing lenses, which is a big advantage when you're trying to keep a model. And I'm not about professional models, I'm about people that you're taking, they're not used to being photographed, it's a difficult situation, and you're trying to keep their interest, you're trying to keep their attention. At the same time, you say, I'll just change my lens, give me a second, and you've lost some of that attention there. Whereas this, I can just take a step back or a step forward, and I've changed that. Because it's so clean, because there's so little distortion on this, and especially full open, I've got the full range between f1.4 up to, infinity if I want it. So I can really tailor this to what I want without taking the camera away from my eye. Literally with a step forward, a step back, and a little turn on the controls. So to me, for doing that sort of work, it is a game changer. Now also, if you are going out taking other things, it's nice to have that ability, if you want to be able to get that close in and personal thing. You'll find some photographs that I took outside the wonderful little blue and white, well, white with a blue roof church here in Paphos at St Nicholas. And I went inside, and you'll see from the inside shots, I haven't done much tweaking on them, I've literally just made sure that they're balanced from exposure point of view. But the colours which have come out of this are so vibrant. They really are. The colours and the internal paintings inside the church are vibrant. I just find that the contrast is good on it. The whole thing's just nice. And there's a couple of shots which I took outside where I'm looking at just a bush. Pure test shots. They're not meant to be aesthetically pleasing, but test shots with a church behind and a small bush. And at 1.4, I've got it focused on one leaf. And it shows these people who say that you can't get shallow depth of field from Micro Four Thirds, think again. You find that when this one leaf that I've taken, the leaves just back and front, an inch or 2 out, are soft focus. By the time you get to the church, it is just a marshmallow effect of smooth bokeh. Bringing it into a higher f-stops up to about f4, f8, and you suddenly find that the background becomes a lot more clear, and you get the whole of the bush in focus. But it really is an indication as to how well the lens handles it. And there's just no change in the optical quality of the lens between the two. Now, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers too, so if you're not a subscriber, why not? It's free. I'm at 9,930, something like that. So you can help me get my 10,000 by hitting the subscribe button below. Give me a big thumbs up because it helps YouTube's algorithms to spread the word further. And also, if you want to give a bit of support the channel, you can join as a patron, and we've actually got a way that you can join for free as a trial position on that when you join up. So you can become a patron from the link in the description below. Or if you just want to give a bit of one-off support, just beside that link you'll find that there's a PayPal link to buy me a coffee, or you can hit the super thanks. Anyway, conclusions about this lens. It is a game changer. It's a game changer insofar as how many lenses I have to take. It's a game changer insofar as the quality that I'm getting out of a small lens. It's a game changer insofar as the ability to just have a lens which will do an awful lot of things and still be a prime lens. Because it's in that unusual focal length area, it just fits nicely. It's not heavy, 280 grams, so therefore it's easy to put in the camera bag and to keep it as a second lens if you're taking out with something like the 14-140 zoom. To me, yes, it's an absolute game changer lens. So all of you who wrote in the comments about this Sigma 1.4, thank you, because it's been worthwhile. What I didn't tell you though, it has some siblings. So there is a 16mm version of this, which is actually big. You'd think the 16mm would be smaller, but the 16mm is about half as long again. And also you've got a 56mm, and that's where I've got a real interest. The 56mm is ever so slightly shorter than this, a little bit lighter, but the 56mm is taking me into that medium telephoto length, and that's when I do my tight headshots. Now at the moment I already use the Sigma for that, the 60mm art DN lens, which is the f2.8. But to get that extra bit of speed and the great quality, I'm seriously thinking about looking into the 56mm version of this to see how that is, and looking at the series of these. So what do you think? Have you tried this lens? Have you used this lens? Have you bought this lens? Let me know in the comments below. If you've used the 56mm as well, I'd love to know what your comments are. Again, stick something in the comments below. And do you think that this is a lens that would be an interest to you, or is it just something which doesn't? Again, drop me a comment below. I love reading your comments, and I know an awful lot of others on the channel do. Anyway, until the next time, this is Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy saying keep on taking your camera out, whichever lens you got on it. Keep on having fun with your photos, because I'm going to have a little wander out. I'm out in the sunshine in Paphos. I'm enjoying taking my photos, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.